Debbie Schlussel in the news again. All right. She wrote another extremely offensive blog about Gabourey Sidibe, and she talks about how People magazine released their issue of the world's most beautiful people, and of course, Gabby is in the issue as one of the most beautiful people in the world.
And you're telling me Schwang Wang Wang, Debbie Schlussel over here didn't make the list?
Yeah.
And she's butthurt over it?
It seems like she is. I have her.
Oh, come on, look at
All
this.
right, we got to raise the
All
audio.
right, just let me listen to her for a couple of seconds.
Time Talk has endorsed B.O. No, not the smelly B.O., but the presidential B.O.
Oh, I love that every time. Schwang Wang Wang, Debbie Schlussel.
But the presidential B.O.
No.
Barack Obama.
All right, so why does she care about Sidibe?
Okay, so so she writes this whole blog about Gabby and just says the most offensive things. Before I read you parts of the blog that I found most interesting, I just want to note, okay, the fact that she doesn't consider inner beauty at all. She's only looking at outer beauty, all right? So this is what she says. She says that People magazine is intellectually dishonest and a promotion of fat people as beautiful and sexy. They aren't unless you're a chubby chaser. So she begins with that. She also includes a quote.
Apparently she knows the world of chubby chasing. Debbie, have you been chased?
She must have. Then she goes on to include a quote from the Notorious B.I.G. saying, "I hope the silkworms got paid overtime to make this dress." And she wrote that under a picture of Gabby where she's wearing the Oscar dress, the green dress. Anyway, then she says, the magazine's completely dishonest editors choose disgusting-looking, morbidly obese Gabourey Sidibe as one of the world's most beautiful people. Come on, you know they don't believe that.
Yeah, and she keeps going on and on. She calls her a size 524. She says she's gorging herself into oblivion. Now, and if that weren't enough, she has to, of course, include a racial angle. And saying that, hey, you know what? Large, fat white women like herself never make the list, but since she's black, she all of a sudden made the list. But what's amazing to me about this whole thing is she never once mentions how she herself is a fat ass. I mean, what do I got there? 2 chins? Or more? What do we got going on here? I mean, is this the model of hotness? Who is she to make a comment? Look, at least when I comment on people's looks, I make the disclaimer. I'm not just the founder of the company. I'm also a member. Okay, I'm like, those old bold things. Yeah, I'm a fat ass too, right? So you have to at least acknowledge that. It's terrible. Now, here comes the crazy twist in this. I actually agree with her point. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, but not in any of the ways that she said it. And I don't agree with the racial point at all. Does Gabby, as much as I like her, does she belong on the most beautiful list? Keep it real, Anna.
Look,
Keep it real.
You're making the same mistake that she's making.
Okay,
People's most beautiful list doesn't necessarily mean the most beautiful physically. It could mean the most beautiful internally as well.
Schwang, wang, wang. I'm not buying that either.
The cover of this issue is Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock is on this cover.
Okay.
Is she considered one of the most beautiful people in the world? I mean, yeah, she's pretty, but she's not one of the most beautiful people in the world.
Is she one of the most beautiful inside? I mean, these are all celebrities. This is all goofy. Then why wasn't Mother Teresa on the list every single year? Yeah, I'm not buying it. No.
Whatever. Who cares? Look, whatever, Jenk. No, I'm getting
whatever.
This kind of shit just gets on my nerves. And look, I'm not going to be hypocritical, and I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh yeah, Gabourey, she's fucking hot. I want to look like her." No, I don't find her physically attractive either. Okay, but it's not fair to constantly rip her apart when you don't know her. And when you don't even look in the mirror and look at your own fat-ass self.
No, that part I agree 1,000,000% on. And look, even if you say, like I just said, hey, you know what, I don't think she should be on that list. You don't have to call her grotesque and gross and...
Sickening to look at.
Sickening to look at. Have you seen any of your videos? I mean, you want to talk about sickening to look at and listen to. Debbie Schlussel, okay? Especially given your vile opinions on just about everything else. Okay, at least Gabby's a great person inside. She has this, a love of life that's evident. It's not because she's necessarily a celebrity. We know her because she's a celebrity, but when you talk to her in the interview, she's not like the other boring celebrities that just sits there, oh, we had a great time on the set, whatever. She's, busting out with life, and there's something very positive about that.
There's something very beautiful about that. That's why
Think about it.
That's why I believe she belongs on that list. It doesn't necessarily have to, you don't necessarily have to be a size 2 with gigantic breasts and blonde hair to be considered beautiful.
I guess
that's my point.
Here's the thrust of our disagreement. I think people could make a separate list of the 100 most kick-ass people, which, by the way, they should put some thought behind. I almost want to make that list, okay? And then I would put Gabby on that list. But keeping it real, I can't have her on this list because everybody else on the list is obviously there 90% because of their looks. Okay, but anyway.
Whatever. I want to lighten up, so can we watch a little more of that video, please?
So far, my favorite part of today's whatever. It reminds me of that song. Yeah, come on.
He does politics. Now that he's entered the presidential race, the most interesting thing about Fred Thompson is that he's, well, not interesting. In fact, he's about as dull as the factory manager he played as a co-star on Roseanne. One of his top campaign operatives.
One of his top campaign men, Fred Thompson. Fred Thompson.
You know what the most interesting thing about Fred Thompson is? It's that he's not interesting. Kind of like this video.
God.
Wang, wang, wang. Debbie Schluth. All right.
Oh, that felt so good.